shelter in Lviv.
Ben, thank you so much. Now, back to the crisis here in Ukraine. We've seen desperate footage of Ukrainians forced to flee their homes in recent days. But what about the children who are in orphanages and unable to leave? As supplies dwindle, one American charity is doing what they can to reach those in need. I'm joined now by Mark Davis, founding director of Abundance International. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. I mean, we've seen desperate images of so many children trying to flee this fighting, so many children becoming victims of this war, images of them being killed. Just tell us about your orphanage and the challenges you're facing.
Thank you, Yalda. I've been in Mykolaiv and Kherson with the orphanages, what they call the baby houses, ages 0 to 4 years old. These are the infants. A third of these are special needs. And the situation has become critical for us. One of our orphanages in Kherson is already under Russian control. We were very fortunate yesterday to be able to hear from the director. They're okay. The kids are unharmed. They have food supply for now, but we can't help them. And we just continue to send out our prayers for them. We were able to now expand our reach to help many other orphanages across the country. What we're doing is focusing on those who can't leave. Everybody's talking about trying to get the kids out of the country. Not all of them can. And so the ones who are here, can we get them food? Can we make sure they're getting diapers? Can we make sure they're getting the medicine they need and the care to surround them? And so we've been creating that network around the country. And I want to thank you guys for bringing attention to this, because prior to this war buildup, nobody talked about these kids, the silent, innocent voices. When you see the innocence of these dear children, this is the purity that we have to preserve so they can come out of this with a life and something healthy on the other side. We're dedicated to doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the shelling, the bombardment of the north, the east, the south of the country. How are you ensuring that these children, these babies, remain safe?
In any of these cases, there is no single place in Ukraine that's 100% safe. However, we have been blessed that none of the locations we've had have had any impact whatsoever. They're distant from where the battles have been. And what we keep trying to do is just keep contact with the directors. When we saw this happening, we felt like I've been working 10 years with these orphanages, never experienced anything like this, but immediately I reached out to a business guy. Adam Lyons put together a GoFundMe campaign, and Marion Richardson to get on media to get the word out. And now we've raised money to now send money. We're actually still able to send money to orphanage directors, to resources in different places. And we're trying to capture people, like even in Lviv, to be able to make deliveries to local orphanages. And it's happening. It's 2 weeks ago, none of this existed, but we have to help right now because not all the kids can get out, and they need food and they need supplies, and we love them dearly. As you've seen some of the videos,
tell us a little bit more about what else they need. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, what we've seen, if you've seen the videos of us having to, every time the sirens go off, we have to usher them down to a bomb shelter. And these children, they had a normal life, they had a loving environment, and every time they're done, it scares them. It's frightening. And so there's obviously psychological help that's going to have to go into this, when not only now, but through this and after the process is done. What we're doing is having to supplement the fact that grocery stores are running out of food, gas stations are running out of gas. And so we're having to band together everybody to keep these kids going until we see the other side. What's it going to look like? Can we open up food supplies from the outside and everything else? But for the most part, the heroes of this are the nurses staff that keep a calm atmosphere to create a loving environment when they themselves are terrified. They're the real heroes in this, and we love them.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it is incredibly terrifying when those air raid sirens go off and everyone is ushered under those bunkers. I mean, the sounds are haunting for adults, let alone these children. Just if you can briefly tell us how the children are responding in general.
Oh, how would you expect? The kids are frightened and they're disrupted. As much as we can keep them to a schedule, every day they have a schedule for when they eat, when they do activities, when they do certain things together, when they have their classes, their learning. As much as we can keep them focused and distracted with their daily routines, it's better. But these kids they don't understand. This is terrifying. How can a child 2 and 3 years old make sense of any of this? How can you explain war to an infant? All you can do is try to create atmospheres of love. And we want this over as quickly as possible so we can start working on the aftermath of helping these kids. And I appreciate anybody who is in Ukraine as a resource. We want to try to expand our networks. We can help deliver. When we get a call from an orphanage that says we need these list of items, we need other people who can say, I can call and say, you can deliver that. So please, at abundanceinternational.org, see all the videos from our projects, everything we're doing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing and the work that your organization is doing. Well, that's it for this edition of BBC News. We'll be back in the next few minutes. Of course, you can get in touch with me on Twitter. I'm at BBC Yalda Hakim. But stay with us for our ongoing coverage of the war here in Ukraine.